The world is a rich and dynamic place. We have so many new pieces of research, from adventure and exploration to discovering wrongs that should be righted. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be taking a look at 3 recent discoveries. Investigation uncovers Ohio is secretly building radioactive mountains. For many of us, one of our biggest fears is seeing our childhood homes, the safe places we love to explore, and the cities we live in disappear. Others fear the climate crisis and the inevitable destruction we are causing by not acting. Some worry that these will all go hand in hand, creating very real problems we will not be able to undo. For Lynn Anderson, these fears have come true. When Anderson ventured back home to eastern Ohio, where she had spent her teenage years wandering and exploring the uneven ground beneath her feet, following trails and swimming in the quarry lake, she found a very different story than the one she had left. A lot had changed between the summer of 1972 and the summer of 1997. She could not take the same paths she had as a child. She could not revisit the sites of fond memories. She could barely recognize the land where she had grown up. The land and home Lynn had loved was gone, and in its place stood a landfill, large mounds of waste piled high. Anderson commented, "I could not believe we had that much trash, that we filled up that many areas hauling in crap." She, alongside with locals, placed the blame on state officials, suggesting that they failed to fulfill their duty to protect the local environments. How exactly did that awful transformation happen? Within the 25 years since Lynn Anderson had been adventuring as a young 15-year-old, the quarry land had been passed and sold to a few companies. So the state is left with a huge landfill, replacing natural landscapes that stood just a couple decades prior. But what was worse, the communities in Ohio have reported the landfill and the lack of care to their environments as the cause of a rocketing rate in cancer diagnosis. In 2019 alone, the landfill saw more than 1.3 million tons of waste brought on site, some of which has been determined to be radioactive fracking waste. What's fracking? Fracking is a highly controversial process that has left many begging to leave this method behind, and others congratulating its uses. Fracking is also known as hydraulic fracturing, and it is a method of retrieving natural gas and oil from shale rock. It involves drilling into the earth and then aiming a high-pressure water mixture of water, sand, and various chemicals at the rock to release the gas. It is true that fracking lets the drilling firms reach those hard-to-get oil and gas resources, and economically speaking, it can lower gas prices. However, many think that this technique is too environmentally hazardous, has issues in terms of earth tremors, and possibly contamination of groundwater through the leaking of carcinogenic chemicals. It goes without saying that radioactive fracking waste products placed within a landfill in Ohio is shocking, disturbing, and terrible. Unfortunately, many people are not aware of the radioactive byproducts that come because of fracking, and citizens are unknowing as their watersheds are becoming surrounded by radioactive waste. The Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, has classified this type of radioactive waste as tenorm, meaning it is technologically enhanced, naturally occurring radioactive material. It seems that this horrifying waste disposal is not limited to this one spot in Ohio. This is one of 8 sites in Ohio alone that is having waste taken there from oil and gas operations that are a little less conventional, to say the least. While there has not been a huge amount of testing done on this radioactive waste, a 2016 study that looked at the same sort of waste in similar levels found that the radium levels from fracking materials were more than 2.5 times greater than what is permitted by the Ohio Code. Of course, the issue does not stop with the radioactive waste being stored. There is an undeniable chain of events that follows and results in tangible, painful impacts for these communities. When it begins to rain over the landfill, the water moves through the heaps of waste and carries along in the flowing water any water-soluble contaminants. This means all the different parts of the radioactive waste, and there are lots, introduce the water-soluble radionuclides into the leachate, the liquid that contains all these water-soluble contaminants. Even the industry itself admits that every part of the process involves radioactivity, meaning radioactive waste is present in landfills in the form of drill cuttings, pipe scale, produced waters, flowback water, sludge, filtration sleeves, and various pieces of contaminated equipment. The water treatment plants the leachate is then sent to, 10 out of a possible 13 of which are based in Ohio, are able to treat biological materials, but are entirely unequipped to treat radioactive materials. This issue is an incredibly serious one. Regardless as to your stance on fracking, the practices must be taking place in safe ways, with the correct equipment and storage facilities on hand for the waste products. It is unfair to let people continue to suffer and to leave insufficient methods of cleaning up a process that is so damaging in the first place. Multiple supernovas may have implanted our solar system with the seeds of planets. Stars are incredibly complex celestial bodies. They go through multiple phases during their lifetime, all of which can determine the next one. They certainly look pretty. The stars in the universe have plenty of question marks around them, making them great points of scientific research. Some 2021 research suggests that a series of exploding stars could be what led to the right climate and conditions for our solar system to exist as we know it today. The research study has been aiming to investigate the conditions of a star-forming region so that we can compare these conditions to those found in our early solar system. Where we see some similarities, we might then be able to piece together exactly how the radioactive elements that we know are crucial to allowing planets to form appeared around the Sun in the first place. The team began their study by using condensed, solid material from the cloud of dust that surrounded the newly formed star. Perhaps the most important element found here is aluminium-26, an element that has a somewhat short lifetime, and given the long time it takes to form a planet, we can conclude that the source of the element was somewhat close by. Following a series of observations, some researchers have concluded that perhaps it is not a singular source providing the aluminium-26, but rather multiple supernovas. A supernova is the end of a star's life cycle. The star explodes, releasing its mass and causing a sudden surge in brightness. Aluminium-26, the crucial element, is found in the center of massive stars. It is one of many elements formed within them. When the star therefore explodes and the object's materials are distributed across the galaxy, this element that is known to allow planets to form is therefore spread throughout space. When researchers began to take a closer look at the timeline, it is not impossible for this to be an explanation, but some scientists are suggesting that it is improbable. The mass of the star combined with the short span of the element would mean this explosion would have had to occur incredibly recently. For now, what we know for certain is that the impact of aluminium-26 upon the galaxy is incredible, with significant changes occurring thanks to it being there. We just are not quite sure exactly how it got there just yet. A team of scientists want to land a drone on Saturn's moon, Titan. Some of the planets in our solar system make Earth look a little pathetic. Our one moon can hardly compete with Saturn's 82, 53 of which are confirmed. In 2005, we spied a pretty good shot of the largest of Saturn's moons, Titan, as the European Space Agency's Huygens probe was placed on the surface of the moon. This is the furthest from Earth that we have ever landed a spacecraft, and the mission was a success, if somewhat short-lived, with the drone running out of power within mere hours. Now we are ready to research back and better than ever. A team of scientists at Johns Hopkins University's Applied Physics Laboratory have been devising plans to reach Titan once again, this time sending more than a probe. Instead of the stationary probe sent in 2005, the team wants to step up the game a little, sending a drone that could roam about the moon above the surface but submerged in the thick atmosphere. The mission, dubbed Dragonfly, has the potential to determine which sites on the moon could be habitable, and with a combination of the low gravity and thick atmosphere, the mission really could be a hit, with the drone visiting multiple sites. If everything goes to plan and proposed designs and concepts are approved, there is a possibility that NASA can launch Dragonfly in 2025, though it would not reach Titan for another 9 years after that. From an engineering perspective, this mission is well within reach, with it being perfectly accomplishable technology-wise. This has the potential to give us invaluable results and a whole host of new knowledge about a fascinating part of our solar system. Hopefully, come 2034, we will be talking about all the amazing research we will see come from the successful landing of the Dragonfly mission drone. We have so many innovations going on in our world, from wrongs we need to right to the ongoing research into space and our universe. There is only more to come. But what do you make of these interesting discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.